Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to another installment of my weekly vlog series, Live Your Dream. So if you're someone who has a dream and you want to make it come true, and you're not quite sure how to get started on that, or you've already started taking action but you've reached a point where it's like, what am I doing with myself? Why am I stuck here? And you're feeling like, you should just quit, you should just give up. I totally get it because I go through that pretty much every single week. It's definitely not an easy journey, but I will say that this whole process of going after whatever it is that really matters to you, of creating a life around a worthy and meaningful purpose for yourself, and really making your wildest dreams come true, even if you don't get there, but just the mere act of taking action towards something that is worthwhile for you, that whole journey itself is fulfilling and it is worthwhile, and it is the toughest thing you are ever going to do with your life. One of the toughest things. I really can't say for sure what, you can't really compare one tough thing to another, right? But yeah, this is one of the toughest things you will do in your life, going after something that really matters to you, going after your dreams. But it is definitely also one of the most worthwhile, worth it, fulfilling things in this life. So I'm here every single week to share what I'm learning and what I've learned, in hopes that it could inspire, encourage, motivate you to keep going. And I don't know if you'll find these vlogs to be useful for you, but at the very least I'm here, okay? And I'm here every single week to share whatever it is that I'm going through. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also directly message me through any one of my social media links, which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. So in last week's vlog, I talked about how I decided to speed up my creative process, because every time I decide that I want to work on a new series of work, which is what I'm planning to do right now and have been trying to do that since March this year, I end up taking too much time, because I would spend so much time on like just 5 or 6 pieces of work trying to figure it out, when actually in the creative process a large part of it is to just do it. Like, just put some paint down, just draw something, just sketch things out, and I think one important thing for me at least is to complete those drawings or complete those sketches and don't leave them like half done. But for the past 4 months, I was struggling with like 7 or 8 canvas paintings, and I couldn't seem to get them to where I want them to be. And it was just taking way too long, because I was just second guessing every single step of the way. And so finally I was like, you know what? I need to speed up this whole thing. I need to light a fire under my bum and get myself going to really, speed up this process and develop this series of works. And it's really difficult to do that when you don't actually have an external motivating factor. And that was what I talked about last week, how it's important to have some sort of motivating factor that is outside of ourselves, because we're more likely to keep to that than if we say that, in 6 months' time I plan to have an exhibition. But then if you don't have a venue set, if you don't have if you don't have something confirmed in terms of like, this is the date of your exhibition, it's very difficult to get ourselves moving and get ourselves into action. So I decided to do a 100-day illustration challenge, where every single day for 100 days I would finish one of my illustrations in that series, or towards developing that series, and post it on Instagram. So this whole week it was like literally any chance I got, I would be like, okay, I need to get into the studio to work. I need to get into the studio and continue on my drawings. And it's like, I don't even second guess that. It's like, just go into the studio, get started, don't even think about it. And that showed me something about procrastination that I didn't really understand before. So one of the things about procrastination, right, like almost everybody goes through it in some form, and we all procrastinate for various reasons. And I think I've shared this before in one of my vlogs, I can't remember which one. But procrastination, a lot of times what's underneath it is a fear of failure, fear of success sometimes, because success means your whole life could change and we're very attached to the way we live our lives. It could be like a fear of making mistakes, a fear of judgment from others. Usually fear is what stops us from doing the things that we really want to do. And when it comes to our dreams, because as I've shared before, pursuing something that really matters to us is usually the most difficult thing we can do. And And it's difficult because there's so much more at stake. Because the more it is something that resonates with you, the more it's something that you want, then you stand to lose a lot more. Like there's a lot more that you have staked into it, whether you realize it or not. So unconsciously we get an even greater sense of fear when it comes to something that really matters to us. And so that's when the procrastination kicks in a lot more than like, you know, doing something for your day job or doing something for a client where there's a deadline that you promised them. So when it comes to pursuing our dreams, if you don't have an external motivating factor, then all the more you're going to procrastinate on that. And this is something that I learned about procrastination this week. It's that one reason why we procrastinate also is because there is no sense of urgency that we need to complete this thing. And that sense of urgency, when it is there, it becomes greater than the fear. It becomes greater than, you know, the whatever fears that we have. Well, not all the time, but, you know, to some extent it does help. When you create a sense of urgency when it comes to pursuing your dream, then, you know, and there's many ways to create that, like for me doing this 100-day project, finding something that works for you in that realm would help. And I literally mean like anything that will work for you to help you light that fire under your backside. Because, you know, when we tend to think that when we're young, it's like, oh, I still have many more years to live. Or, you know, we tell ourselves that, oh, our dream is something that will happen eventually, something far off in the future. And right now I need to focus on my survival first before I can have money saved up so that I can pursue my dream. And this is actually another way we procrastinate, right? By justifying why we can't do it now. So when there's no sense of urgency, it does not, you know, there's nothing to override the fear or override the justification that we have a lot of time. So it's really important then to create that sense of urgency for yourself in the form of, it could be anything really. It could be like, you know, if you're an artist, maybe go set a date for an exhibition, like rent a venue, set a date for an exhibition, and then you can't get out of it. If your dream is to be a singer, then, you know, set a concert date, like set up a concert date for yourself, rent a venue again, put in money so that, you know, there is something tangible and physical at stake, and you have no choice but to like rise up to the challenge and just fulfill whatever it is, despite all the things that are holding you back and causing you to procrastinate. So I'm not here to tell you exactly what that thing would be for you, because it is very, you know, it varies from person to person. But there's so many different ways and means that we can try in order to figure out what's the best way to light that fire under our bums, so that we just keep moving and we don't even think twice about the fear and don't even think twice about procrastinating, and just like go for it, whatever that thing is. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. And if you have enjoyed today's video, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And I will be here again next week sharing something else. And so I will see you then.